ya na yɛtena ase dia na me man ti dwumadie ana yɛde bremo yɛfrɛ me ADAKABRI Mahmudu Osioma na panyini kwadwo dame ado ana de masi abɔnten me wapase majori ɔsɛe agyeman ɔbɔ ne chidom na ku efiri yie ɔba pa ɔno nso so etita ho na wɔ service wɔ mo afi technical production no the social media handles ahodoɔ no na emu aseda ɛkɔ edema ɛyɛ yabeba panyini sisiri wabata ho yɛfrɛ no nanabna frima ai ɔse mara michi mafa na wani nana ya asafo ana wo mo hwɛ on Facebook live despite media on YouTube bia ɛkɔ betimi so awasap yɛn ɛwɔ nsɛm a yɛ brobro so yi WhatsApp ɛde ɛkɔ 050600909 050600909 na ninyina emu no na wako on Facebook live Neat 100.9 FM na yetimi atenase na yenyina message bi na odibegu a aba bekenkan ede amamo Bajale
Wafa Mahe
amansa chiame matina hweso
otutom otutom ese de ade ne tene de sa awone ntu ana ogina ho
enti amansa chiame watutom
okay
na ohu ti sen
na me adomoko wo fa eja yokrokrom yokrokrom kakra
sa no se oye no
sa de tie no wo so beye ende so beye akwadworo pa de na ekombedon ekombedon isi wo mo a na wo mo di adwuma edi agro no fa ntu omofo adwuma bia wo ye bia me fendi agro me agro
na adwuma ni bi ho
sa kakra wo ho na se yebo ho ban enti wunya nya bi di a na wunya nya bi na mbom wanya bi nso na sa wo ya na waye na waye ni yie na wafa ni bade ba ko wom wo se minim sa na wo tanya challenges pa o wakwa na obi afra o wo fa ADAKABRI amafo kwa ta afra me je wo number adan a o pa adwuma enkrofo bebre timi ba ase ha wo mote nka sa na bi wo ha na wa mama attend to them o pa adwuma na ni made ba ko wom wabra wanya adwuma ni bia ma esimasi a o pa bie na wasa afra na wo fa we no ne wo makatu ya ye miwa wo ba na adwuma be na wo pe o se adwuma bia no ya wasanya baby amano no ya friend for interview or interview ni ba ya na wo maketu ya na
nature say omu abua no ho
nature say wo mbua ho say wo be ya adwuma
onye well position
debida
na majori nanka obi say ukọ United Kingdom na Greater London area no na omo Barrow ahodo London Borough of Bia Haringey London Borough of Bia Waltham Forest so no na Barrow Bia no e won Career and Gardens Center et me kai se me kokodu London me din nafua me ensape and on the whole street yade me ekotena Careers and Gardens Center ana o busebusa me ya se tie na mpesa me ye eti o ma me nya idea se manage say ho a London so metimi enya opportunity say eti say course say na mpesa me ye dia when we assist from London Ghana now so pesa o san ye course we dia okay they just go Waltham Forest College for 1 year na san kokko ye A level no ebiem so na o ma ye yetimu no Career Garden Center bi ewa ha
na wo friend ye ko hu ne se du obabi di em se je wo kire na se ye sukusi mu na nei se your friend is saying tertiary so mo sa guidance center no wo ho
Career Garden Center
say tertiary
universities na say secondary for no
secondary ne bi wo mo me mom dey me secondary school me secondary school dey me nya bi sa dey but ene no say ne wo mo so mo di wi aba
I said will be a university. And na akwa economics ni geography. And na ne papa edi sofo. Ti o ma Jerry. Ne papa di sofo.
Ne papa sofo.
And na ne papa e hwa ne mpoa wo. Say mo mu asori dem. Say what the geography and economics e koye den.
Okay.
Ti asabi yo. Ne papa say what the geography ni economics
no.
At the University of Ghana no. What they koye den.
Okay.
But my Jerry, and you present a career and guidance officer. Want to mean say a Ghana pa idea udi geography ni economics. What as if you say, it is so free say. Ma meaning the ba akwaye baako ama akwadani kwa geography and economics. And I want no suffer ntiase and what dear free fear. Eko champua said ne uti tu ma yudom na kwada ko university a was be kwaye geography and economics say wa ene Ghana ye den
na no susu se na nke den no oye ebebo ne be papa so for dem nya na menya the telephone number ka me friend bi sa no say
na so so me fa di tudwa na
wo de me fa tudwa sa ba fa number na ma me na onum ni phone dia na ya bi sa ne say na
me bomiti so say geography and economics what say what they quiet den because or no you uninformed
okay
or no suffer no you ignorant. And because of that, no, onim di anybody betimi the geography and economics. See a position here.
Say you
see a position here pa. Onim di anybody betimi di aye. Na say yet to memu. Na unima. If say blasters. Akwa bobo. And then for the titi daily graphic.
Daily graphic. 1973 there no.
1973. Monday, February 12, 1973. And there will be anywhere so. I know that one.
Or the two Facebook.
Or the for paper no two. Now the paper no two. Marjorie.
What
major story woman no say.
Ghana. Akuya family we ni mam na me hwe na as mo copy.
I say Ghana bus set ablaze. As blasters win in Lagos.
Lagos.
Just a kwasusu. Akwa 3 goals.
Okay.
And no na wo bia adwene ho. Afi Marjorie.
What?
2 other items.
Items and so we no more.
A paper nanim.
Okay.
First one no. Mamini kan ka de encouraging no. Now they are more encouraging men can touch me no. I say RC harvest sugarcane at Commander. Say Joy Amedome. The late Joy Amedome. And the one students of Agri Memorial.
Yeah.
I want more echo volu. Because again school anti volu that.
Volu.
So one day I had on paper that one.
On the paper that one. Or there are two Facebook.
What pass through the animals I was saying. I
RC harvest sugarcane at Commander.
The regional commissioner no. Joy Amedome. One no nature say what the AME Zion. Agri Memorial Zion Secondary School. What the woman name? I'm assistant headmaster kahun, a teacher for Sia or Baba Kokan, and one of the students now call Commander. A year a shedie at the Amma a year company no. And then Minister Benkwan is here for Muda. No. Mr. T, a cocoa do a front place. We are national or this SCDC. I feel crow
or Pebia Rogu. So, let's say, what for Commander Sugar Factory once a year can and yet no.
But the idea say, regional commissioner, and one is students, I can't boom. Secondary school fool, and one more coach a year a shidiano. One more coach a shidiano. And now, could they energy? I feel more encouraging one. Mumrasia has seen. Mumrasia. From Mama, I say Ghana Airways Corporation. I say application are invited for suitably qualified candidates. What do you mean? Pilot trainees.
Hey.
And the 2 navigator trainees.
That's all.
I say qualification. Sure. Uber plane. Complain or say GCE A level or its equivalent with passes in English language and pure mathematics with physics or chemistry or physics with chemistry or additional science or if you say additional mass no becomes a
add mass.
Or graduates with a degree in science. I say other requirements. Applicants 1973
1973 assembly
another paper anymore. Other requirements. Applicants must enjoy complete physical fitness, be able to read without glasses, have good reactions and hearing, must have proven ability in leadership in every sense of the word. Age. GCU A level between 18 years and 24 years. Graduate between 24 years and 28 years. See a method of application. Was saying application should be addressed to the acting personnel manager, Ghana Airways Corporation, PO Box 1636, Accra, not later than 2nd March 1973, stating age and qualification. Civil and public servants should forward the applications through their heads of department or corporations. What is A level? Akonya Basse, you could train as a pilot. And then, you see the training as a pilot. Uncle saying, also uncle. Who's so height? Nane, UK, our baby queen. UK, from Macra, no one said, pilot. So, Captain Frames. Hey, so Saturday, now Ghana was one of the greatest pilots. Greatest pilots at Ghana was in Enyawamo. Bako, no, you're Kowni. Oh, Kowni, Captain Jarry, or Ware, me, I have an antimagi. Kwauobo, the Captain Jarry. Oh, no, not about body, the oil fat, no, or your papa. Pleasure for there's a pilot to papa. We a year Captain Jarry Fruha. Captain and was I bien, Captain Spencer. Okay, baby, could you mean a bow? A year Mrs. Kufuado, Linia Ketua, Antimatreda, Chobis, and just a Utus on Moya, Lois and Mutus and Mapa Papa, Captain Spencer, Captain Spencer, and Sana, would you buy a Chilefuano, a year Captain Quaka. Okay, now one would did DC 10. DC 10, Omade Bar. Now, Landia, they will kiss the ground. Okay. Landia, Abroni, Adi, a boy in a bar, Lebroyi, the chief, Lenny Payam Sessiano, Captain Quaqua, and now Captain Spencer, one more bar, or the plane, Landia, it kisses the ground. That's all. No problem. Sometimes Ghana was yes, a good one. Plane also Dr. Hilal Imam and a toy. Oh, and they were much worse when they be Toby. That time a year DC 10, Dr. Hilal Imam, a children they call MD 11, and send a boy in Ebergen. So, Nesam, you see, and Quada, Emranian training as pilots. Show now, what for way, I just say, yet was a Ghana Airways. 1973. We are talking about a year 49 years. Yes, 49 years. Na etimijina na nine so na ye training kakra ya top flight plane ya top dodo and the ye training Ghana for the pilot to our naka ye ni bebri ye ho a ne ye pesika ye nya bi 1973 and paper we dey the normal papa me I say me wa fa ba akon anti akọ me chia papa mami on oba odi kan we principal secretary okay wo Ghana hase okay your friend Mrs. Tina Akomanyi okay na ofri Odumase Konongo Odumase into one ma edi kan ye principal secretary the whole Ghana on edi kan Mrs. Tina Akomanyi na ni kunu na your friend no Mr. Kofi Akomanyi na or your journalist the late Kofi Akomanyi okay one Ben Mensa na Kofi Akomanyi fi abroad nkwa ho na Ben Mensa free Swadro 1965 omo be wie school na graphic corporation na adwuma da ho twen wo Sa omo wie school na adwuma da ho eti kofi akomanyi wate brofo che obi just o me by mensa o me by na adwuma na da ho twen wo mo tuon no ansa na Ghanaian Times papa kuti mensa tuon ansa na eye Kwame Jawuchem ansa na papa Christian Agri no na enei adwuma no wen
adwuma no esa adwuma de atoto na se o
na ya abra
adwuma de ese yentimi amoho ban
afi na wudwane na ya free cry na ya akwa free Abraham
so ndo so osuro
akwa free Abraham blessing just no Ghanaian youth are they sufficiently positioned Ghanaian youth are they sufficiently positioned it will just akwa free gina ho now just a simple gina ho na simple one nsa no dwuma etimi electricals now just akwa free we SS secondary college na satam ninja ne na tentene no the free war ekofie no mta prem do
ono so de
Classic ni na tentene na okosku na ni guy name ni afa no ninja
oh sa
okay akoda we ewie seko and was so person okokodi soja uwie seko anamo be na tui so person okodi soja na die ntina be si na woda hote ya se wantimi ani soja no
me did it so much as and we now receive
so wunya official career and guidance office bi e direct you say processes are ubetimi afam a ubetimi join Ghana Armed Forces from secondary school ye kirew ema hune
actually there be na BBC
eti abasa na just a connection for bi utiranye ko bi befa ho de awewo na chese say wo kirew bibi eso no opo awewo ana ye den
nti na edidi a kire na etu scan ade
ya use ka
bebre
sir
I spent not less than
at the time
8,000
that's about 4 years
get three
4 years ago and we circle and now ewo mu so be di soldier so height na wo hoyi and now we athletic so and na ye usika eti career guidance eti Ghana Armed Forces kra no omu entimi nyese ye open day atimi ama prospective nkwala as join Ghana Armed Forces no omu mra kra mehwe omu facilities in an open day em said abre Kwame Adokofo honorable of Kwame and am so ye open day bi ama ye kwhwehwehwe Armed Forces
for no ama
a chese ne papa mu a ye open day say ye ba be ko university kra na ye ma ye open day at the university ni amankwada na be hwehwe various universities at university na wo pe no ukohwe ho a no ani kura ayedai age ho na mani abre na me ko university wa Leicester na me ko Professor Jack Spence
okay
na watch na chem de nti amemra Leicester I say and we've got such a beautiful public cemetery in front of the university.
Oh wow
what's a beautiful
cemetery usunya dia na wadwe mu ye hia otum kugina ho na o feel the breeze so the found the SN from na everywhere banana come so the was you abrochire dia na ye de ni be we nya wo domedie ni
na ready and we've got such a beautiful cemetery in front of the university na that time no what the encofa train e wo King's Cross St Pancras na wo the BBC Leicester na baby me kwakope akotena no Welford Road no the open shortcut no amfa taxi na wonnam cemetery ni mfimfin na mitimi fa last train free St Pancras na me aba bedru Leicester anadwo be se donko ne fa economy no na me gina menam asieye ho na hom from me bo na hom from na mo me gongodi aye 10 seconds I will dwame asieye ka
what else you dwabe hwena no ha idea wo ko awudo ma no akwakofa obe 10 p what was it 2 a.m. azona agana
me the last train abedru and na me ko Welford Road and na me nanti every station and na me nam aye asieye ho
kama
broni ni
na sa time no asieye no so no na Leicester University apena no manya medical school enti no chese na medical school no it overlooks asieye no enti chese wo da hospital na se o yare na ya bewu na hwe asieye
na o hwe asieye ho a odum say eh me na me bekoyo
enti University of Ghana omo former vice chancellor CMB Tego enti CMB Tego no a doctor ewo Leicester University infirmary honom so near friend Leicester Royal Infirmary enti honana na ebi na kwada ketwa no se opeso okọ soja na ya gigi the scan left right and center
8,000 ono so awanko
me kwa no nim se menya prospectus Oh, mommy call medical baby. If you're Ontario Regional Hospital, to make us no say. Mom was sent as on my quiet. Oh, we're not quite say. And also who's secret here. Minya prospectus in your date for a report and Nibi, I mammy could try me 3 BB. I cry. So, Mamma, Papa, Dim, oh, Eddie Milko drew Honoma.
Yes, won't come on.
Training, there is no, no recruitment. And started. And what you can imagine. I can't was your voice. I said them for close to 2 months.
Yeah. So such a disappointment.
Honestly speaking, the best thing they look at them say me.
Oh, as much here. Opinion. Every 51 seconds, you walk. Akwadafu froto Ghana ha. Every 51 seconds. And a woman no. It meet the best 2 days and send obi awu. Don't know. It is doso. Who busa ho say facilities na ye dey hwe no. Ewen. Hospital do saying.
Saying crane wo.
Schools do saying. And sorry do saying. Don't know. Ache come on. It is who busa
on my part, no one say yes and na desperation setting.
Yes.
Why you watching so open say into no young sound say it miss Eddie and who say yeah certain research background checks be near even if say obi anye open forum be na bibia ma wan kasa so it miss check na me check here because tell me yes and man na me sure say nka me boss aka
na opportunity be na ho say hefa and now we are desirous. Yeah. So we pay accurate information about joining the Ghana forces.
I say Mubenya.
Bianca o call mo ebia omo barracks for no offices.
Office baby
o bora.
Yeah, na national unnim where to channel
armed forces. You benya career and guidance officers. Bia omo timi kire ade a wo say wo ye. Ghana Police Service, Ubetimania Career and Guidance Office, mentoring department. I will be betting me mental. I will bet me Namisano, a prosinian and the DMA secondary school. Prosinian and the DMA Depania friend, Mr. RK Kubleno. Okay. Nami de Papa. That's our time, no. RK Kubleno. A
Kubleno needs a sound of me power.
Anna or a baby. Never nor a Kubleno. Oh, sir. Diana. Akwadar managing hunting na papa din yame de. So, I can kuble no na ni yame de pa. Now hwe CK Dowona. SS so mane no. Peter atinga na aba nam fori no. So no. Enti wo hwe ene no himfa na betimi akwa. Ye betimi akasa career and guidance officer. Ukọ no ho no o kire wo be so di prosia say na osa wo ye say offices bi sa ho
of a menin
a young man we and we IGP so baby wo free baby wo free papa baby aye akufu dampare wo free abedi a prosi ade call ye say sua de finance o say sua de fn say o ye finance no ana o what tema no na dia no ye substantive director of finance no so no eye mia me wofa eye Andokofi na ofri amina okay ne yire kra sesia no commissioner deputy commissioner of police eye Mrs Faustina Andokofi wrong no na wo hwe say prof na wa bin papa san kira di university enti wo betimi akotena professor Andokofi ho na o kire normal na o di nkomo ansana eye dampare beba director of finance dampare ni di nkomo sese na ho brase ne nkomo a wodie say ni nyina no etimi ema obi form a view we die minya dampare ameye we die minya Andokofi ameye we die minya eye CK do na meye we die minya RK Kuble no a meye we die minya papa bi na just say osu sechere no special branch just say the express of osu sechere who read about him, you would love to be a policeman. Obi to say, Mr. Rekon, no, Kumasi, na CID. Such as you would love to be a policeman. Obi to say, ASP Yankee, 1958, no Wozongo police station. When you read about them, Diomu at the end, and they won't mean reading about Penimfubi. Emma Entimin Chwadunisi was saying, may you say.
ade ba ko ne say ukoko read a na wan so abofra no wo hwe de ekos on the ground na wo compare you be like okay be atwem because enne wo ka say wo pese wo police na me say ma wo for mo pese me ko sojan so police pa de omo say ngejuma pa ebuo bi animu omo je
omo na kasa so
enam de omo feel so omo hu no
these are the correct words so enam de omo free say omo so it may not be accurate
but information omo de omo say na omo no
etie nti na omo hwe a omo say da bi police de ebuo bi animu enkoye police
eti akoda bi no wo eye emem na emem watwa mu free emem na ade ko bedi akokrom na timber for na to barrier bi sa ede bia na eye forestry for the police for na te wo na akoda yi wa wie school woni ba bia konti adu oso anu akotena ho adu ababa wa fe oso anu akotena ho na fe the police for na eje brabo a adu pia so so ani police a edu be wu afla sa police ya na obedi
o hwe de na ekoso na
adu besiri ye nya kwan air force kura adu say police na me say medie adani a o hwe barrier ho no no ye wo mu je
akonta wo mo ye wo ho no akonta na mo ye wo ho no
ebi nie
ohwede wo mo gi the barrier ho no na inform na wanya perception na sa time no kwa no na mo say 3500 na adu e bom pempen na me kai pa say ayi me kokofuo ba ko omo de ayi yo mo perception no and omo de say afuo no be see press agisika say di kotua bribe ama adu di corporate
it's
not a good pen. Takola no okono.
It's we okono adwen ben no de program
okopesika.
So on na ye kan ye career and guidance center no. We bitima guide nipa nankasa no because wofa nipa no bebre wawie university. Why desperate. Wo kwa no wafro. O mo na mo medium. Mark me pe adwuma o. Wofa me pe adwuma o. Adwuma ben na wo pe. Answer be ba ne say adwuma bia.
Na just one sufficiently
positioned. No, adwuma bia ba kokra do ye madam fu otu brodo okwan mu ensawom kwan mu sani fa no so won say wotra we wa eti aye ba wa university na madam fu so ope obi obehwe ba manage ne company so madam wada wo bi ono so to pan no oye so pan no adwuma de eti akwa na meka ten masa men frame bi em say ope adwuma pan no adwuma sesen so wo de kwa manage so say ope obi obe manage yes, I bread. But at the moment, on those adwuma bia, which wafasade awokano, yes, me yapa ne yekano. So we are not well positioned. It is one per adwuma na as a way adwuma na bo corporate say why you desperate and I was a way university and na so per
adwuma suhum unse utwam ensom bypass na wako signboard na wako kwaf krom eti kwaf krom no sign so for unse abuaje eton solar plants were left
were left
left no say abuaje to solar plant
okay but so moton solar plant here
warehouse Genesis
what Genesis is it Genesis kitchens and
Genesis kitchens
well right
your friend Imani na Imani no na oton omo ye adwuma eye kitchens
okay
e wo London and oton kitchens
okay
and we decided say obeba Ghana ama nimdia na wanya se ton kitchens wo London no waba be ye kitchens ni bi wa ha e wo Ghana ha edu oba ye no wo saipe ma ha sei no be see dan kakra bi wo
okay
Imani obeka se Ghana microphone to kitchens obeka se ye kitchens ubaka say Imani din nenamu
what is of every do na me say we restaurant crowd
dey because we ukwa so hwe Imani minua no so no minua no Imani enti ninua ba so no and na oye cereal cola and this is cereal cola I na or London ninua ba na kon cereal cola no na Imani so na mase na on the oye na kitchen on the oye na kitchen and na wa hunu Imani kitchen no ye penipa kura se wo mo kwa adwuma ho no ma na Imani nya nipa onye nipa aja wo kwa adwuma ho a na wasua se de esi
kitchens no
American papa company mentimi ammo masi company Uncle Greg also the kitchen company e ba Ghana ha come on, you didn't need me ma. So and also the same thing. No ni Ghana ni kaboom. Ye penkwala kra mo makwa kusua ayi carpentry and joinery
because and no understand who you kra no wasa acquire was skills no
when your skill
when your skill that just say obia ntimi enye fan free
won catch you say akwadaa bi free just be say bra na me mfa no koma imani no wan kire say de sia kitchen obeka so onko
what whether what can they do me for because every me round am say Genesis kitchen see there won say Ghana dey go your kitchens na akwa say be enu aduane bi o edi me kokko round am say hey sana dey na nya kitchen say na mo my ye be building because when your restaurant because a restaurant inti
company ni
it mendidi
kitchens do ka say
restaurant it mendidi and jambi 2 car ana me ko drum say na dey say mbo wura na mko pa bibi afa me ko duru wa eh sana dey na nya aduane o enya aduane asem enya aduane asem adi ga kai man twa bi ya the kitchens abo na wan kitchens na simasi kitchens go home iti very good wafa dey ya kan
no your friend
imani o say technical
ya say ye penkwala amomo akwa say imani sawomo okwa akosua tire ya unzo no kokotu nsa de
madam yeah
so no o say wie susu a ye graduate ye unzo san kokotu ya ska aso catch ne say o mesua say the precision machines e de ye kitchen kra na obeka say there bi onye den onko asusu imani and what this the free cyper man
in fact ya dey say yema ye ne ko hu yie pa because any said ya wofa na obi sana adwuma no 1 years ye nim say adwuma no ebi ni ho kakra wo ho no so no for yourself good because how do when you crack kwakoto aban no kwa so enye yie and one kasa so betime kra enu ti na wofa sa technical education na ya sha se a o mampani ani abere wo no wofa ese say yema ye ne ko hu pa wo media dey be am because yes our technical amanya go do atumpo nyina na technical education nyina technical education and ya tena hwa ebra na ye ko school me ko camp aburi camp wa na ye technical drawing no na ade kra unhu seriousness bia bom so na ye afuo utimi ya bed wo se obi atimi ya the bed na ye duadua cabbage ebi adua toast ebi adua wey afa later kra na akwa se wadwe mu se ye dey punish ubi because wo ye bone a ye dey afuo na ye dey punish na wi na ye ka ho asem wa so it's a idea we have to focus
yeah,
technical education no
so I know bit and you live in your pass ye party for money away party for my
yes it was say ya
because can you for the attack you start no I'm right here to do a sign and mama what did was saying and I find it out what does it mean what does it require of me and tell me I am beneficiary of the you start as you do you start
no
yanko bu so am no makakra they see what the Ghanaian parliament or say yaunsia na ka say
okay
or say the failure of the state institutions not to set up career and guidance unit is that there is no fiscal space for employment. So they have to leave the youth to their fate.
Okay.
I know honorable member of parliament for Bana Bono region. No one is deputy minority chief whip. Then any be dim komo. Na watch the no mabi kakra. Now here's a young man abusa who say into a Bono pass a Bono region. Apart from 1D1F companies emiensana ewo bunu region no adwuma be pa na bunu region Honorable Abed Ibrahim yemwa ha
mejo so menua
Honorable na ho te san wiai
na mene mompa e bonte ye ho ye waye bunu region apart from 1D1F company mako say eye miensa no adwuma be pa na ewo bunu region the youth of Bono region on betimi anya biaye ADAKABRI ma memfa wafidi so enchia etifo amutie NIT FM in the area ADAKABRI unse Bono region from na former Bono Ahafo region until 2018 na yechiche mu a yekonya the Bono region. They say a constituency of 12 districts and 12 constituencies. There will be such a Juma Ben and a Wawa from 1959 and Western Ashanti. 1959, ebeye the Bono Ahafu. 2018, ebeye the Bono region. The predominant worker na ewoho you to know the cultivation of cocoa. So,
hello, Honorable. I'm Serabe, and a line on drop. Inti Yabesa She, na ya rezi, a Honorable Member of Parliament for a Bana, na or your Deputy Minority Chief Whip on the ticket of the NDC. Back to the line. Inti you may say, but me attesting. There and a Juma Bay Pan open region, a Juma Bay and a open region. Na Oshe. The year 1973 story about graphic and him Ghana etimi akoshe Nigeria 3-2 ewo Nigeria almost she ye no mano nipa wo she 3 goals nya na ekwasi osu no free bono region enti ene ubusa ho say present day bono when afena kura am say be free ye bono east enti just bono region ne pa de na wo ho enne de pa na wo bono region Yansan Twaso. Adaboni no kasane se line call back. Yede wasese yansa account.
Until 1983, the addition by a cocoa trees nina majority of them got bent. They revert into the cultivation of maize. And those are a brew, canaburi, a hawk and an free. Up to the 1986 and the early 1990s, and a transitional zone, we got back into the cultivation of cashew. And this a Juma Ben apart from the 1D1F no crown with me also 3 companies. Here Juma Newaha, the meeting I can say the Upe cashew production. The whole Ghana, the Bono region is the major producer of cashew. The whole Ghana. Many workers say the Ukohwa you to be anywhere only cashew. The food. Cashew near one of the most promising product a world future. As you see, the digital China for about more company. They produce the cashew juice and the cashew nut itself. Besides that, upe cereal production, Macam all the other cereal family Mono region. It like I say, we are the major producers. Mono region also a farm baby upe things like sawmills, logging, they are major producers of wood. Ukodoman, Krankwanta, Rikum, Robo, that's an upe. Nria, yes, Shipu, Eko Ghana, in the Edibaha, African and the Edibaha, and Emu be breno, Eko, and a free. Beyond that, Uba areas like Mono North, he said, Sampa, and so called Bana, those areas on the northern part, so Upe Bayra. Also Emma and war. But beyond this, the Uber human capital, ADAKABRI, who call the various magazines, a youth to be brewer, electricians, mechanics, and all those people. We have them. Even though we've not been able to organize and mobilize them, they send their countries, be to say Japan, South Korea, aye. But we tend to look down upon them, thinking, say, oh, we no more magazine for Juma Moye, dear, but ADAKABRI, when say, Obi interview, Obi catch them, say, oh, yeah, tutor, he was a product, he was a magazine boy. No, intellectual, and as a professor, and academia, be obeka say, school, Kosia, tutor, Juma. But Kosiano magazine, no the tutor. And now, yes, I can, and the to professors, doctors, and one I get to the tutor card are the best. Toyota cars are the best. Inti see timisha magazine for yi when jumano ekina. Emma, he said electricians, ne fitters, ne organizers, no more no. I think said the tutor to me free magazine Japan tutor. In future we can get some of them. In the Uko Bro region where youth no be so Uko Sunyana magazine, we have them Brekun magazine, we have them Wenchi magazine, we have them. In the no a Juma youth no so me. But unfortunately ADAKABRI of late, because in Timmy man the needed attention a humanity. Ama youth no be brave wa ukase wonko sunya juma kura na on pese oko, and I think we're falling short of that. Then ADAKABRI, we used to have what we call the Sunyan Technical Institute. No more block laying, furniture engineering, and all those kind of things. Unfortunately, as I speak to you, ADAKABRI, and you to know any that aspect of work and home. Matters we have to address. Into one of the areas, but still, you to be obuna say jumano. They have been doing it. Into furniture and gender computer for missing for now we have and Dina ye tremono a regional youth no and those kind of work. But when you come to ADAKABRI tourism, the we Volta region the highest mountain. Mountain Afajatwa. When you come to the interior, it's free Masi Eko Mampom Eko na the highest mountain a walk Ghana apart from Afajato. It me I can say a mountain Chulia Ewo the Bana district in the Bono region. Then tourism potential as a Bono region there, ADAKABRI, you can see it. When it's a honso na yawo bui down now, you to be briwa, they employ their work, both the renewable energy and the hydro one. You to be brain so. Then beyond that, the tourism potential now make we have the Bui National Park. ADAKABRI, the whole West Africa, and I said the whole Africa. There are the hippopotamus sanctuary. Hippopotamus one. This is the Bono region in the Bui Lake. With other wild animals the Bui National Park no. So tourism potential you to know any be there. ADAKABRI and also but once I Bono so we have soccer as our talent. And a footballer and blaster koya or moko wine yo mobile. We have some of the Bono boys in them. In the soccer, one of the potentials are you to follow. A bit me exploit to enya juma amama Bruno. You don't forget that Samoa Jamba for Jajamambedu, any Afena Jan the win winano, Bono region ho a ho and no free. And we have most of them in Brekun Chelsea, in BA Stars, BA United. And all those soccer teams are a war. In the ADAKABRI, Ubisa we are. Then when you come to the academia, we have a lot of Bono people, sir. Or more into the academic field. Don't forget that we have University for Energy and Natural Resources. Yes, I was Sunyani Technical University. There was Catholic University. There was Wenchi Methodist University. We have a lot of university and tertiary education in the Bono region. In the Ubisa, ADAKABRI, we can talk and talk and talk.
Okay.
But the employment potential in the Bono region,
okay.
ADAKABRI, they are uncountable.
You and ye busa wane say enyuma ben na ewo Bono region. Na quick one on that aspect near my parliament. Ukase mo no, uchre say eye cashew, eye potential ewo ho. Cashew so indeed. A cash crop. Recent time, crime said that cocoa board. I said about the cocoa. Would the free the aquacudrun soko. Me fa minifaso at the manye be banahinkro me content so de call bedu de wuramu abesi sampa na se me fa me bonkum so de ekọ eye sekwa asan wuramu ebesi brekum sa stretch one no hwe the way a cashew ewo ho besi ne factory bi wo ho a yetimi de exploit eye cashew no a yedua ana yedua no ewo ho apart from we ewo asase no so a nipa bi edigu bi di ase de bankran
ADAKABRI into wonim ho nyina nim wuyefo no nyina
ona wada roma yedi ebusa wo
asemo yo ADAKABRI nyamin cha de onim say fighting of factories no we hear a lot of factors the location of factories, proximity to the raw materials. Not to send you one mention, say your cashew farms will be we have the raw materials. By ADAKABRI, when raw materials no, we hear rules, and we have the rules. We hear energy, and we have the electricity. We hear labor, and we have the youth. And the idea here, as you say, what's a year? Now you venture into the exploration of the cashew processing, the capital. Now, many workers say, Ukobana, as I speak to you, on the Chinese for no construction of the buoy down. What me identify this point here, establishing the cashew product no edoso that enclave no. So because of that, from 2 years ago, from 2021, cashew processing factory. Ebe processing the cashew fruit into cashew juice. Processing the cashew nut into cashew biscuit and cashew oil. Into construction is almost nearing completion. Beyond that, there was another factory, Aba Bana district, Omoye sugarcane factory. They will produce their own sugarcane farm and process their own sugarcane. That factory too is almost nearing completion. In the ADAKABRI, and me ankasa mango cell, ADAKABRI unimsa uka cashew farmers are. Me ankasa me count. We were about 400 to 500 acres of cashew. And Yintia, me yes, was to make sure say many biza that ubeye cashew processing factory now. You just engage the other outgrowers to add to your own product just to do the farm. In that regard, we are on the good path.
Edem dase na se wetimi akire mu na bebusa se donkofo bo ni tire mu po ye ba beye bui dam dia o ba beye bui city na chesenka akosomo township tema township so the first planned city Ghana ha no na bui city ekosi san
ADAKABRI, that's a very good question. One is the location, establishment of city, the economic drivers be NNM. One is tema near Kosomono because of their proximity to the capital. Any other areas, NMA ultimately expanded into Yahono. The concept of the Bui city was to acquire the 441,000 acres of land. The land will be there. And the ADAKABRI say, Unya Usika say, Uwa Kusidaya, Naya Chewa assassin in the OBCC. The Mimiya Misika say, Missidaya, Naya Chremi assassin in Kosi. So it wasn't like, say, a bino aqua kujisika or the babisi, that dino. And as a government, ANCC dino and fango like affordable housing and this. But land in it there, as I speak to you, the 441,000 acres of land there, omaji by executive fiat, ama abina land in Ewoho. Na Adakabre, Adiba Kwan, a sign can hydro known say, good, President Kufuor had a very good intention. Na near Koba money say, yeah, boy down, no year, no, from 1920, I discover the Bui Gorge. If one say, a very good for the construction of a dam. Until 1960s, in Kuma, a choose between Akusumu, Bui Dam, Pong, which of them should be first, and a Koba say, it choose Akusumu first. After that, we know be a second, and a Fufiam Betuata Yetono. The concept that the Russian company were going to do was to make sure say no 5 paddle dams. Now the buy anything Kebeye Kessie and Kebe Flado portions of Cote d'Ivoire, which the Ivorian government did not take it lightly. So until 79, Anna Nkuma Limam Ebabe Twaswa on 1 Timianye. 1996, no, yes, the consultant of the Buidan, and I offer France consultant, I have friend of Connie Belay. In the role is the Connie Belay buyer, no, only concept now the bar for the construction of the Buidan, no. That's here. That's here. For the construction of the Buidan, say, a Beya Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and Konyan Toka, and the reduce the height of the dam. Na yen concentrate na yen no 3 or 2 saddle dams. Then the ebeye kitwa na flooded in the part of Cote d'Ivoire. And Munti and Abuino ekoye only 411 megawatts. But the ekoye and say Adakabre Buino nti say akosomo. Unti mean so Buidano ensi susu for 24/7. It's only better. Inti ete omuya no only for peak demand. The idea sa na omotum idea chia no omobi. So what they realized, your mama realized and said, and yenye solar lamp, solar income. Inti ya solar. Yes, I say solar. Omuye procurement biye ena kufia metwata no free ho. Na Dubai and so no cost them ni otwaso. As they say, Minu Kasai, Oma commission before 2020 elections, Omo commission 10% of the solar, 10 megawatts of the solar, now 50 megawatts. No. But the concept is to do 250 megawatts. Now they are 400, no. Now 761 megawatts. Ekoban sa ebe kese, nipa bibri betra ho, nipa bibri beye juma ho. And at that time, no, when we are talking of this Wales City now, we can also nipa does one, and my economy no expanded, and my housing a issue. So at that time, we did say the concept of the Wales City will surely come to pass.
Yo, indeed, it was our area. A Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, a member of Parliament for Banda. Ewo Bono region na AD enkomoya watchre do sika se Bui Gorge no GORGE na je ho na eye volta no usani free family betwa mo bole e de ebebe dru bui ho e bukef esenso ni sane ba fom sa na fe wa bukef asa danani e de aba besne akwakofa eye daboya e de asen aba bepie bupe na je safi no Sani aba volta no inti asempa Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim and we are told say yetimi anya second stage of the E-Levy Act, and I would say at this stage bill ama a progressive accord a third reading consideration ama ya passing. So technically we have the E-Levy bill not passed, awaiting presidential assent, become an E-Levy Act. That here.
ADAKABRI can is It means I can say politically the e-levy has been passed, but technically it has not been passed.
The Chimuche any.
And I can say politically it has been passed. Say we have money, money no be. We so have money for kata money, bakono kata money no. We kata money so ta awanga no abre. And then about Parliament, and nyame krampo ema or GNA. State of the nation, beautiful one like this. Ya plan abre one. The beauty of it has been mad. Because who ya dear no? How one ye one fambra kwanso anya adakabre ema ubre. For the first time, ye buy na mama misha sin free rano. And rano ye buy and say ye buy Parliament no. Na ye buy no minority side na 136. Na ye now ye a sin of MP. Na ye fali day of execution. Amano ewo Eco's High Court. Na ye can say bit me associate fali day of execution no now abeka na ye 137. So apart from a sin of MP, not all the 136 MPs and MPs were in the chamber. Yeah, forces a lawyer, Maliba and Fali, day of execution, never keep us to my no. Now, yeah, no more on the other side is air frustrate the Fali. And the ADAKABRI, up to they make sure say a scene of filing of the day of execution was delayed until the question in Parliament was put. It was passed, and some lawyer Maliba a testimony they say they are so our plans were two. Say antimi amfale day of execution in term. Ametu amana mekai wa mana enye 137. There is no way we can win. Because ebe 137 MPP against 136 NDC. Because no more the ambulance are far the other MP on the other side and brought apart from Adjwasafu, all the 137 MPs. MPPs were also there. And say, Ujinaho Namutukrana, at least the court case, more frustrated as in of and Obeka one, 137 against 137, Nanka Apai. Constitutionally, the Mutua Bana Epaya, not just say the motion is lost. So they saw it. So what they could do was to frustrate the court processes. So when we realized that they had succeeded in frustrating the sin of MP, Gichikwisen in joining us now. If deliberately you use the forces against us because you use the state power against us, then let us also legally disadvantage you from forming Kuru. Because when we walk out, it means you are also 137. Constitutionally, you don't qualify to form quorum to proceed. Until say, you bet me a file, a state of execution or court war, na ye diaba bechichesu. Inti, we debated all right, thinking say you bet me a file, offer leave ye and go back on, not get 137. Into one thing, and they can say, if you are using strategy against us, and you see a strategy. Our strategy was that then let's work out. There will be 137. They will not be able to proceed. And I say, procedurally, that NDC for walk out or no. MPP for the can walk out in the 8th Parliament. Or walk out or no. Right Honorable Speaker Bagben was in the chair. And say, or can say yes, majority for no I walk out, even though they didn't tell me. But count the number of people who are in this chamber. Like in the kind of Mr. Speaker, you have 137 MPs in the chamber. And I say yes, the Article 102, we have the quorum to do business. Let's proceed. And or proceed here. And yeah. Then you come to 30th November. MPP Fonso, NDC Fonso, out. At that time, now Speaker, First Deputy Speaker, your wife, and a Tia Koreamo. They also hear and say, NDC for no Amma Parliament. So, Clerk of Parliament count the number of MPs in the chamber. Or kind You throw a kind of or kind or catch the speaker, they are 137. And Oka say, yes, they are 137. By I, Joseph Osewusu, Member of Parliament from Bekwai, I've counted myself to be the 138th one. So we have 138 to form quorum to proceed. And Omo proceed here. Omo proceed here, their argument from the majority leader at that time was, Mr. Speaker, something happened here last week. The majority walk out. The minority were only 137. By Article 104 Clause 1, they did not qualify to have the courage number to proceed on doing business. And therefore, a Jumana Omuye was an exercise in futility or exercise of nullity. So it cannot be granted in law because they didn't form quorum to proceed to vote, to take decision. Based on that, we regard their action as a nullity, and therefore it cannot be granted on law. So the budget was not rejected. That was the argument. The question is, on both occasions when each side was not in the chamber, the speaker caused a counting to be done for confirmation of quorum. What we knew was that when the leader of the minority declared yesterday that his side was walking out and we walked out, the speaker would have proceeded to do what he did when the MPP walked out. But on this occasion, Speaker Bagben ignored that portion. When my young kind MPP former said the Oyema NDC on that day, and we felt very bad in that aspect. If he had done that, he would have known, say, the Honorable Sarah Aguasapo is still in America and she was in America. Now, only chamber. So if the NDC 137, 136 walk out, J.T. Kwesi was in court filing his stay of execution to enable him to come to Parliament. So 136 plus J.T. Kwesi is 137. Plus Sarah Aguasapo, who was in the America at that time, is 138. Minus 275 is 137. So the 137 members remaining did not form courage.
Okay.
Article 104.
Okay. Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, what can I say? Sir, the situation about ya that NDC for no become 136 no, Nankamaya 137. Mami Musa question here. Na tobu asemama nunsi ansana di muayaba. 1. Abdul Latif Dan Ablikuma Central. 2. Abdul Salam Adams New Edubiase. 3. Amankwa Nicholas Amanfi East. 4. Avoka Cletus Apu Zebila. 5. Boateng Joseph Apia Afram Plains staff. 6. Ofosu Ejare Elizabeth Tamale North. 7. Kwesin James Gache Asene North. And I jump to 9. Suparu Adams Muhammad Sisala West. Sanipa 8 Yamabo Mudin. Omunyina aye NDC MPs ana.
Adakabre one more Sarah Joasafo.
If I tell them say abonipa 8. Sa edi 8 ya me boy.
Oyi apart from Sarah Joasafo munyina aye NDC MPs.
Me mo Joasafo din. It is anipa 8 ya me boy. Omunyina aye NDC MPs.
Adakabre hanin.
Oye. Enra faithfully and consensuously believing same to be true. No more Parliament will be.
Adakabre, they were physically and conspicuously sitting on the floor of Parliament yesterday, and the videos are there to testify.
And in the Parliamentary Hansard, no. Yaka said the following honorable members were absent. Nasa nipa 80, omudin wo nipa 9 na omoye absent and Raymond.
Adakabre for the first time, so ubisa and there's chairman of Council of State, and I say Honorable Kofi Atwa, Ubehu say Honorable Haruna Idrisu was very harsh on the clerk to Parliament and described the clerk to Parliament say, how can you be a partisan clerk in this way?
Yes, Cyril in Sia and or describing as Sam.
He confronted him today and asked him, how can you be that partisan clerk?
At the end of the clerk, and I minority leader.
It took the Council of Chairman of State. It took the Chairman of the Council of State and the Honorable Kofi Atwa to prevail on Honorable Haruna to calm tensions down, simply because Latif Sudan about Parliament or sign attendance list. Elizabeth Ejare about Parliament, he take a decision as to whether we should walk out or not. Or no, or can't. He was part of those who said we should stand out and be counted. Yelusu and Yalusu. Tuparo was sick, but we brought him to sit in Parliament in his chair, not in anybody's chair. Amangwa Nicholas was in Parliament. All those MPs were in Parliament.
Hansat
came to me that he even signed.
Hansat
so for the clerk of Parliament to deliberately ignore their presence in Parliament, their signing constitutional sitting in Parliament, and their signing of the attendance list, and just group them for political reasons, and to say they were not in the chamber. In fact, Emma Haruna is Bufune. And secondly, these people were there today. Into what happened, the clerk one said that sorry, now I can say I was here, I signed, and you marked me absent. Elizabeth, sorry, now I can say I was there, I signed, and you marked me absent. Was knowing for obvious reasons, signing order 53, the clerk of Parliament printed the order paper with no provision for correction of votes and proceedings. So they will not even give us opportunity to correct their mistakes too. Then you go to the order votes and proceedings. The day the majority walk out, it was recorded in the votes and proceedings they walk out. The day we also walk out, we did not attend, it was recorded that we were not in the chamber. And now when we walked out, the clerk failed to record it in the order paper there, the minority walk out.
You drew a subsequent action at the law courts are moyana near Busa, there intino, as Yakasa Parliament media dance here, Parliament media dance here say, Namu Wana Namuniho. But then, at the end, Anna Haruna Idrisu, minority leader. Well, yes, sir. Oh, yeah. And until now, here, say, chairman of the Council of State, and a senior NDC, Director International, Kofi Atwa, almost previously on him.
Who divorce and proceedings, minutes of the meeting in the court. You walk out. And the clerk refused to record it in the votes and proceedings, say you walk out. Into how will you go and tell them say you walk out? Into another marona bufu say the baby a Parliament edruni. That a caucus will walk out, and the clerk will refuse to write the walk out in the votes and proceedings.
Into a dear namu propose to say. Mubeye after the fact of you not being in the chamber. Now, as you put it, say clerk no answer amayan record more absence in the chamber no. Ediana mubeye ade afa ehon.
ADAKABRI, the speaker, when he saw that Haruna Idrisu, the minority that was annoyed and furious, and after Haruna was prevailed upon by Honorable Kofi Atwa, the speaker. Mensa then told the speaker to make an announcement on the floor that there were errors in the votes and proceedings. And the speaker, when he came to the chamber, there were errors, mistakes in the vote and proceedings. and that he will give us the opportunity to correct the mistakes tomorrow. And when a man Harun Idris Afidi and Kuma Tony and also and a man Elizabeth Oforajare, Honorable Suparo, Honorable Latifudan, and Honorable 8 Honorable members that will go with them, Obia Kuma Tony and say, or China or Memo Mukwan, I'm on my correcting mistakes. Now, speaker no, and that's it, no pride, to say a mistake.
Nti isi ano omujitum say a mistake. It is your legitimate understanding say correction ne beba no you be record say those 8 were in parliament and subsequently Musa walk out of the chamber na.
Oh, ADAKABRI, they will state it the minority walk out in the parliament tomorrow. They will also state it Elizabeth Ejare of our parliament mistaken on Muye, Honorable Suparo of our parliament mistaken on Muye, Honorable Latifudan of our parliament mistaken on Muye, Honorable Amankwa Nicholas of our parliament mistaken on Muye, and all the apart with the exception of Honorable Jitikwesin and Honorable Sarah Aguasapo, all other MPs were in parliament yesterday. Even Honorable Kwejepum, MP for Anhanta West, the ambulance didn't buy. So, baby, I drew no.
Na me to was it. Honorable Suparo, most of the DNA didn't buy.
Me say, Honorable Suparo, or no buy, me say, Honorable Kwejepum.
Untie, Uko be dear. Also, Suparo Mono. Now, on also no home fan. Most of the DNA didn't buy.
Oh, or no. Oyari or no one buy any ambulance didn't buy.
Okay.
But I'm telling you.
After you move on. Into Honorable Ahmed.
The seriousness members attached to the business.
Honorable Bana Mafe Ma Yen Shay. Na Sha Ye Shano. Ebe we say. The Siano. Ye wo quorum. Ye de me edibeti. And ye wo quorum. Ye de a vote. Na quorum ye de debate, you know. Moshe Emma Yeshe say. Right, Bibia the Dean, and Sana Mushasi.
ADAKABRI and Rano me say, Corona debate Article 102. We hear independent 91. And Rano, we had 274. And see, now you try Nimino until the point is 136 walk out.
The debut at Tobase. Intino, near 91 no at the time. Yeah, baby debate, you know. Okay. At best, ye be put to question, no. Na ye wo quorum no ho.
ADAKABRI, ye be put to question, no. We na ye walk out.
Na mo walk out, you know. Under 104, no. Is it self-invoking that the fact of say ma walk out enunti na akiki in ana ehia ma say obigina ne naso a requesting of the speaker for the invocation of 104 na
ADAKABRI by convention and by parliamentary practice once make actually say and yet self-invoking, but the Supreme Court has not made it self-invoking. It is the result, attack and not deliberately. And then, Omar refused to say, there was a walkout in the votes and proceedings. And the Yana engine to say a mistake, no more. They deliberately did it to come with legal argument to defend it.
The CA will say by convention, by parliamentary practice, and yet self-invoking. Until
the Supreme Court came out to say it is self-invoking.
I didn't hear a question say 104 is self-invoking. I don't know one can say yes.
Supreme Court will not out to say they must be present in the chamber 138. So once Supreme Court has spoken, and I'm say what is in our standing orders no free.
Enti yebusa wo no. Enti asat now no. Asat now no. Asat now no. Honorable Banda. Asat now no. All rely on the Supreme Court. And now all rely on the Supreme Court judgment, you know. Saying, say, the Supreme Court has made itself invoking. And na ene ewie yebusa wo say mo walk out no na ehia ma say obi begina ho no request of the speaker and invoke 104 ana and na ya to aso if I could finish my refuse so the woman say 104 no yebusa wo say self invoking ana adena one can yes
me say by parliamentary practice, my child said that ye walk out no. The speaker made a head count for confirmation. And that MPP for some call them also. The first deputy speaker called for a head count for confirmation. And this is to confirm because you are aware that the other side is not there. And you know their number is public knowledge. On both instances, no, and you will be and there might be a real it was the presiding speaker on both occasions and a call for confirmation. Knowing very well there, the one confirm now procedure, a member can take the attendance list and the votes and proceedings and go and quash whatever decision might have taken.
Okay, you better say about Anunti. Mo walk out no.
And I don't say who read first deputy speaker the wise ruling now. Or see the speaker knowing his knowledge in law ought to have known that once 137, 138 people walked out, he didn't qualify to proceed with the business. One can say somebody should have invoked it.
Enti Honorable Banda Ahmed Ibrahim. See yet wasn't me see at the time I'm walking out no. Was it reasonable to expect the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, ASK Babin, to know that Omuya 137 now 138 ana?
Exactly. Right Honorable Speaker Babin is on record to have said the Honorable Serajo Asapo has not sought his permission and he's not in the country. So 138 man as Ajo Asapo with NDC working out knew very well that there were only 137 MPs left.
Enti at the material time yasam niyekon ASK Babin, Right Honorable Speaker, must have made this assertion some time back. That as to whether Ajo Asapo abadem ho anopay and now on madam who no pay and Nurano, nobody is able to tell. But the able sound say at the time I'm walking out, no, was it reasonable to expect ASK Babin to know the Nipa or Honomono and 138 Anna?
It was more than reasonable beyond every shadow of doubt. ASB Babin has always been calling for a walkout when a head count whenever there's a walkout.
So Musi Abontineno. The expectation was that ASK Babin would ask for a head count.
Definitely, he would have called for a head count to confirm if he was in doubt.
24 hours later, do we know the entire ASK Babin one and calling for a head count to be sure, say 138 and sufficiently measured for the voter now?
I cannot proceed to answer that question because it's too early yet. But Ochana, the Edru said, Nanka, you know, correction of votes and proceeding there. Obviously, for reasons known to ASK Babin and the majority leadership and the clerk, today, they didn't even put the correction of votes and proceedings on the other people. Unknown to we in minority and our leadership. The first in its kind.
Enti ye koi ana Honorable Banda aye Ura Ahmed Ibrahim ye bebusa wo say ebra Haruna Idrisu minority leader ohunu say mfumsuo bi na sirinsia back of parliament why na na bu afu no we see say chairman of the council of state prevail upon him no sirinsia emma explanation be to honorable Idrisu Haruna as to reason why supposed mfumsuo no aba ana
me say Haruna bufu ye no na chairman Ekatire Kofi Aton say on my peace in prevail. So Haruna became calm and it was in the procession. So they just came to the chamber not to mark the beauty of the program. So we proceeded.
Enti adie na sese no minority ama indication say mobile court na more rely on the recent Justice Abu like case here or the koye amodi akwakam masem. Now that on the face of it answered I record to say 8 members of yours were not present. Na more assurance say you be correct. Mube still mube proceed on that tangent at the akokota na.
ADAKABRI, there is no the other that rules and proceedings for today has not yet been adopted. So you cannot tender it in court until it is adopted. And it will be corrected before it will be adopted. Did that do?
You it is obi I catch NDC sympathizers, NDC supporters. Say money majority I agreement to be to allow the passage of the e-levy. Na musro samoba NDC for never bomo. Enti I was say under the guise of technicality no muyam from Sobi and our French for can say faux pas bi na che say ade no etimi kɔ ne aba be chechem sa asem dada no a omo de mra no abitie muntwuma komantomo yam ana
ADAKABRI, the Supreme Court cannot give ruling and turn against their own ruling within 1 month. So sometimes we don't get a chat for another kind of so let's test the law and see what will come out of it. That is how democracy is evolved. But ADAKABRI, so because NDC MPP, ADAKABRI sometimes MANSO in the crowd. Within 14 hours to be able to mobilize 136 people in this parliament. ADAKABRI, is it so simple? The minority leadership, the honorable member for Akachi South, Honorable Bernard Anyapo, he was in Amsterdam. We brought him. The honorable member for Jomro, Dr. Sophie, was in Takradi. We brought her. The honorable Suparo, who was indisposed, we brought him. ADAKABRI say, no, how can we? The honorable Aveji was to go to South Africa. We stopped him. The honorable Haruna Idrisu was to deliver a letter in the Dubai Expo 2022, invited by the Dubai government. ADAKABRI for 50 because he could not be assured as to whether they want to bring it or they will not bring it. If we do all those sacrifices, now it could do say now ADAKABRI, I think we are beyond that.
Inti Sesirinsia oyem from Swampa and now 1 record 8 members present. Emma Hansat are recording a nay and money assurances. And the ma Haruna Idrisu ebu fu no until say chairman of the council of state and the Kofiato of the NDC prevailing on Haruna.
It was against Sirinsia, the speaker, why he was also not. There was no provision for correction of votes and proceedings, and we had not been informed.
And then the Canon Kamebu so minority leader was furious.
For such a beautiful occasion, the why you be now in your corner, you have to inform the two sides. Now you before we will be told. And even if you knew, we were not going to take it. The other people by order 53.
But was you? Na yet me abusa ye. As I want to say, Syrian clerk of parliament, I am from so. ASK Babin, as per the walking, I am from so. Enti acquire a normal mino. Now you are adding up, say, Haruna Idrisu, na nebu afu not only Syrian clerk of parliament, but na nebu afu ASK Babin, right honorable speaker of parliament. So we go further to ask you, say, you cannot be an experienced person like ASK Babin, a clerk of parliament with the support of an administrative staff. Could they just make such mistakes? Could ASK Babin also abdicate in responsibilities by not checking as to whether Adiano Etise and Asa Etise?
ADAKABRI, I think that you are justifying a Bufuna Haruna Bufuyano, and it is in the right order. Because a side cannot walk out, and the clerk of parliament will come to say, well, and I say, that is it.
Enti say no yebehwe ade chin ye Haruna watimini ASK Babin akasa ade assurances every ASK Babin ho
ADAKABRI and then men nanti but I believe say ombekasa adwuma ye the sanity you attack issues and not persons.
You okay na yentie dear ebeto aso enti quite an interesting engagement obi se me no akasa se de me ba ne wo. Did you feel that way? Say be am disrespect you?
Oh, ADAKABRI say on the one out training me ndu kasa say obani me kura na matiase
yo. And for the purposes of udibra wo no, I will not attempt in any way to disrespect you, but at times I will say yetimi sechere na yetimi kantimi there was so that you never felt anything of that sort, but unya abutre na chire say mu de chire yen yame nhyiraw honorable member
me da se menua ADAKABRI na me mai tie for ati me ba parliament 2009 that are now Adom FM only efia pokria na ekoji for jono mo ana mo ma ya kwanya ene yetimi kasa ewe fidisu nti ye o ka se o feel ta no pa na cho se ene de enye idea but mo ana mo train nti adwuma no fa na pe
mamen kanchrewe o se yawata na worker say o se on Facebook live this presenter does not respect the MP at all. See how he's talking to the MP as if he's his son. Inti yawata ana watching with the actual no. I will not attempt in any way to me disrespect you know. Why? Na me bam pokura na me babekasa say me buno. Inti I will not deliberately seek to disrespect me ba and mpo makwa disrespect an MP. Nyamenka honorable member. Right, Ahmed Ibrahim and Atene no.
His Excellency, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, Cabinet Secretary for Education, Professor George Magoha, other Cabinet Secretaries present, Principal Secretary, Chairpersons, Chief Executive Officers, Vice Chancellors of universities, parents, guardians, distinguished teachers, guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to have been invited here today. About a year ago, I attended a conference here, and I had a wonderful opportunity of being in a group picture with the president, but I was very far away from him. And now, I'm so fortunate that I'm sitting so close to him. So, those are things that happens in one's lives, right? Yeah, things can change. I'm very honored and excited to be in Kenya. Kenya is leading the way in education reform. And I tell you one thing, I was not invited here because I'm the Deputy Minister for Education in Ghana. I was invited here because I have many years of experience in education reform in America, where I taught for 10 years and built schools there, charter schools in Los Angeles. And when the president of Ghana, at the time he was a candidate, came to California, visited one of my schools, He was amazed that a Ghanaian could go to America and build schools there. At that time, about 200 workers who were working for me. And he asked me, would you consider coming back to Ghana to help me change the education system? And the response was, yes, I will consider. But it was not easy. I grew up very poor in Ghana, and I was in America having the American dream. 200 workers working for me, a black man in America, and it was a good life. Then somebody is saying, come. So I met with a mentor of mine who happens to be a former congressman. I asked him, should I go to Ghana? Should I stay in America? And he said, yeah, I'll tell you one thing. You've done fantastically well in America, but America can do without you. But maybe your country cannot do without you. He spoke to my heart. I was ready to come. I went home and told my wife, we are going back to Ghana. He said, going back to Ghana after 26 years? Are you serious? Yes, we are going. And long story short, I found myself in Ghana. I ran for parliament, elected, and the president asked me to be a deputy minister for education. The president had a vision in Ghana to transform the education system, and that is why he asked me to come. He said high school should be free, and people were saying, how? It's impossible. He said it was possible. He handed the responsibility to us. The reason I'm bringing this up is this. When you have a determined president, everything is possible. And that is why when I look at the curricular framework and the work that we are doing here, I was excited to have been invited. You see, in education, there are three things that you have to do in order to transform it and make education relevant to the fortunes of your country. You have to look at access. You have to look at the quality of the education system, and you have to look at relevance of the education system. Every aspect of this is being tackled in this country, just like we are doing in Ghana. So when my president began the free senior high school, and people said it was not going to be possible, they were right when they said, you don't have the buildings. But because he was determined, we had to borrow from America and got a strategy that enabled us in 1 year to increase enrollment by 150,000 without building a new school block. And that is what a determined president allowed you to do. The political risk was huge. But he said, go ahead with your knowledge, support your minister, get it done. And we got it done. And we introduced a double track system in Ghana. And as I said, go 150,000 students to go to school. Then we have to look at curricular reform just like you are doing. It seems like Ghana and Kenya are twins. And I've come here to realize that most of the things you are doing, we're also doing. And as I talk about access, you've done fantastically well. I look at your numbers, it's amazing. Then you are looking at quality through the reform of your curriculum. You see, the olden days where the teacher expected you to just memorize facts to him or her and you are the best student, it doesn't pertain anymore. If you do that, you are not going to change your country. Yeah, they will memorize it to you, but they walk into that company and the CEO is not expecting them to memorize and they fumble. The Brookings Institution recently did a study and it said that we, the developing countries, if we have to catch up with the rest of the world, the developed nation, is going to take 120 years. And they recommended that the countries that are going to do well are not the ones who are going to wait till they finish access and look at quality and then relevance. They said the countries that are going to do well are the ones that will tackle the issues of access, quality, and relevance at the same time. And that is what they call leapfrogging inequality. You can look at the book, Leapfrogging Inequality. Kenya is on the right track to leapfrog inequality. And based on what I've seen and what you are doing, it's not going to take you 120 years. It's going to take you shorter than that. The Asian tigers that we talk about, it didn't take them that long because they did everything concurrently. In South Korea, at the time of independence, Ghana had more money than them, and probably Kenya also had more money than them. How did they do better than us? They did it concurrently. As the economy was improving, they were investing heavily in education. And out of that, they were able to catch up with developed nations. Our GDP in Ghana, gross domestic per capita, was higher than South Korea. Recently, South Koreans came to Ghana with a group of investors, their Exim Bank, and they were going to give Ghana a loan. They showed us 3 graphs at the Ministry of Education. The first graph was the GDP of Ghana per capita compared with that of South Korea in 1960. Ghana was way ahead of them. They showed us the second graph, which actually looked at where we are now. Per capita income of Ghana and South Korea, and of course, they are way ahead of us. And they asked us a question. I was the chair of the meeting. They said, why do you guys think we are now better than you? And of course, I was scratching my head in shame. Somebody comes to your country and asks you, why am I better than you? And then they showed us the final graph. The final graph was a gross tertiary enrollment ratio of South Korea and Ghana compared. That is, if you take the youth between 18 to 23, how many of them are in some kind of tertiary education, whether it's nursing, teaching, any other thing at the tertiary level? Ghana was 16.19%, and South Korea is 93.6%. So they said, this is why we are here to give you a loan so that you can build a university. And I promised myself that the next 60 years, I don't want my grandson to sit in a meeting like that. I want to tell you one thing. I landed at the airport and I saw the airplanes and beautiful ones. We don't have a national airline. You guys do. And you said it's the pride of Africa, and truly you are the pride of Africa. Because it really made me proud to see that another African country has all these airlines. But also what occurred to me was that if I look at the example of Brazil, the Embraer aircraft, it was a university that partnered with MIT and invented it. So my challenge, and I met with my colleague, the Secretary for Education, I said, Mr. Secretary for Education, when can we create aerospace academies for students in primary 1 all the way to high school? Because that is what is done in America. When I was building schools, we are not waiting for the students to get to the university for them to understand aeronautical sciences. There are schools from KG to high school focused on aeronautical sciences, tapping talents of students who are interested in this field across the country. And when we do that in Kenya, you will just not fly airlines, but you are going to have children who will be excited about transforming this country to do through the aerospace industry, and your children are going to build the airplanes that you'll be flying. And I tell you, I know what I'm talking about, because in America, it will take me about 50% of my effort in the classroom as a mathematics teacher to get the student to pay attention to me. I go to Ghana, I walk into the classroom, the student will stand up for me, and they will not sit until I tell them to sit. The children of Africa are ready to learn. And if we don't get them to be the best in the world, it's not their fault, it's our fault. And that is why I want all stakeholders to rally behind your great president. His vision is clear, and I'm not saying it as a politician, I'm saying as an education expert, as someone who has a PhD in education policy and administration from University of Southern California, and somebody who has built schools in the US, that there's something great about what we have embarked upon. There will be challenges.
Ghana man panyini ejira no nanka timi di birthday nanka tamale wako anije na gbewa watena se ababa mu wako aba na eye Ghana atimi akwa Nigeria ni akwa de abai na e-levy na de abai ensuno ba bia na na dan kwa gugu ado onya group twedi ampon bashirawo kwasena ku anim pati ana papa nyina etwa segusu tie ni 100.9 FM na ensam no na akowie se Miami Wafase, the man of God, na Finsuso no, aspiring constituency vice chairman. You could this year kron, Jaso, Nana Kwajo Yabua, Nanake Yamuatanase.
Offer me Joso.
You. Kusas in your branch here. Now, Wababet Nasante, and they yet me a chat Sabine Tabia, Eddie Nifnuma. Edi asha dance. And they went in baby kusasi krum fu okrano baby akwada. Na waka nanso ko DMPD a ɔse hɔ no ɔbɛkɔ ɔno so yɛ frɛ no Haruna Kingsley Amaliba
pachi ɔde me na me de o ya man krofo bi ya me o ya man krofo
bi ya obuza za de aduane na opedi
na Amaliba de Ghana no ayam from so bi ya na baby obi a formative years no form on normal habits bi ne ade ho no free o
no free send
it you be din free to be free you are wrong enti sa Amaliba to no eba a obebuo no wona ase ese oye hwan ya sa abe no betimi abobi enti ye ne nete ya wo no etwa no funu ma
ya gina tum se nua no
enti tete wonua no wutimi kasa fe na abegina
oji mi atum na ye nhye
nhye de be wo be di akonwa
ya hunu mo boss a
what ya hwe wo be di akonwa Amaliba mu atena se
o fa meje so aburu apomu e
anyame adom
edemi ase
waso op fufuo ne
enye no hunete no
aden
o fa enye no hunete no
state of the nation de ya ye dia ben
ube pe fufuo ne eyi ya bufu grass up san pe rere nkwan
ai nega se akụkọ be hwa no
o de akụkọ mesa to ani
akụkọ mesa sa to ani
owi a wasan de akụkọ ne tai etwa nanum over owi a vati do kaka ho opetiri hu nzu nkwan ni
tiri hu
over o men ka chere na case me ma me kura sabi oda sama do sisi enim se ne ba no ade ba ko pe
ana ope
na mani je ho pa me wo taste
e wo BBM o taste e wo BBM
on tia siesa
and wo de twani tia o taste e wo BBM
over on kan se Bible say wade nyina ho kwan enye ni nyina de fatai
na
wo taste anya de nyina na do taste sem ko ho kasa chere no ma over
levels don't change
change ampa
levels don't change
enti asema da ho nyina ne tiawa asema da ho tiawa no ko wi se state of the nation and journalists be frame me anopay and I say yire dwa no ho say the state of the nation no ka chere na yire state of the nation no eno ane gas 14.5 kilos akoto no 160 cedis and state of the nation no enti obi ameka state of the nation mi entie Amaliba state of the nation any dey hin
o fa me da say me ma wa ha na inchia wono ukru a mo edwuma
awie
inchia mi sina bro na ke minchia tifo minchia mi party mpenimfo ina na ya Alhaji Seri me ma me the MP4 honorable the MP4 Mpane constituency ofa o share yamamra na article 67(1) kase president shall at the beginning of each session of parliament and before the dissolution of parliament deliver to parliament message the operative word shall the atoman pinin so say financial year answer na parliament betna se no makwa hu de di kan no for the wasem to ochre oman no de nioma esi o hwe your four republican dispensation abakosim mampinin for ababedi oman ni mefi Lawrence mampinin da ko for modin kind de ba before 6 months mampinin kwaku adu betna de yesu send on na woda ntima me wishing a birthday. This is the first time we delay delivering the state of the this is a next year there at the end of the year. Offer. Assembly na kofa ba ni say me tem na hye fie enne cafeteria ho na me hwe mampini no ni some of the two dwa o fidie so no a na me sia fem na me ro ahome ho na mehunu pefe say omanyi eni dachi o mampini akufuado ensem na more importantly no oman eni dachi ewo MPP for ensem because mampini akufuado odi MPP amayoku nanim na niso ade hunu okache Ghana fo a igina so to abama no from day one asankora no da so gina so And the State of the Nation address or debe two. I should be your phone and then acquire recycling of lies, repackaging of deception, and at the same time, proper bundling of unkept promises. And no boabuano, no share a box no back, no moody ye, no be shigu yenim, no copen baby. But something was very striking in the President's State of the Nation address. Number one, Mampini Kufuor the better DSW. The modern boy bopa so Mampini at the polarization of the country. What you show my ni mua mene? Ghana ni sheni ni Ghana ni ya ubunu husa mimi free ha mimi ye weni. I didn't tell Mampini Kufuor na this hadi naba. As we speak, Keta had disaster. Ukoye budget didn't capture them. It taking the protest from the minority side in parliament. And the Koya Mabo, Mama Mpine Kufuor the smart ministers ni binum, some Matiopoku Prempe Mane Kotna, Asempa FM. Some minority for Kano. The finance minister Jitum now or capture Keta I want budget ni mua on Sobeku Kumasi a demonstration. The president and his government never showed any sympathy to the people of Volta region. Sadly, and of course, regrettably, an unfortunate incident happened at Piati. In the State of the Nation address, Mampeni Eyadaji dwelle a lot of time sympathizing with the people of Apiati, but Ebaneketa for the Lai Wankaiwo. Secondly, Miami Krumboku, as I speak to you, there is a carnage going on. To the extent that the powers that be, let me deploy military force, cohort. They were terrorizing citizens, they were attacking innocent Ghanaians, beating people and maiming them. I saw your foot me bold when you perfie. You are such any real sick man for them. Have the videos. But what's in a make a wafer?
And now, you man prison I could say.
Wafer. I am speaking as a Ghanaian. So let's go by that.
When you suggest to say,
I'm not suggesting. I am not suggesting.
When you are said to say, you're brutalizing Crawford.
Yes.
And yet Bokua.
Yes.
To ask you.
Of course. I have the videos here. I can show it to you.
Mami Busa will say, "We man prison and I could ask me."
Over. That will dilute what I'm saying.
Debbie.
But it's a message. Let me carry it on.
No, Debbie.
Over. No. The tribe doesn't come in. Also, with all due respect, with all due respect, because the facts that I'm speaking to are out. It is clear.
The geographical location of Boko.
Yes,
and
but they are here called.
But you should rather be saying Senka.
Over. You see, I decided not to go to the head of the issue, and I'm dealing with it generally. I am dealing with the issue generally. So, over. You let me go.
I pleaded with the grandfather.
But
I need to leave it at that stage.
Well, but the point I'm making here is that
no.
There is.
You don't do that. The MP no Akasa were pleading with the grandfather. The grandfather not to say he would exploit the legal option. Let's leave it there.
But Oman did not speak to that issue. Secondly, thirdly,
he would exploit the legal option. Let's leave it there.
Thirdly, barely 1 week or two. No, barely 1 week now. Minibus beer and a tipper truck. Ekonya head-on collision. Asamasa. Yes, Asamasa.
Yes, Shaman.
Nipa, period 15 or so, were banned beyond recognition. What was Mampini Kufuor's message as a leader of the nation to the Biri family? He never did. He never did. And he did not reflect on the anguish, the pain that innocent Ghanaians are being subjected to day in, day out as a result of the bad policies, the lack of leadership, the visionlessness, and of course, the insensitivity of the government. The true State of the Nation address, President Akufo-Addo, I recall, in 2014, after President Mahama then delivered the State of the Nation address, on also born MPP for Mabunu ano the Omo Tanechi, I dare say some opinion na ke ote kwampo kubia. Our physicians and surgeons college.
Rich runabout.
Rich runabout war. Na me hobby. Or say oko deliver true State of the Nation address. And let's look at the commodity prices. Within 1 week, iron rods offer let me shoot to above 30% within 1 week. And here for bed, no more sit down.
And here no do sit down.
Over, no here sit down. Ah, the many pada go boom. And then here for sit down.
They don't use the word as a better than Ghana for sit down.
Okay, a bed then here me be it me sit down. My main can sir.
Any be a tempted to go sit down.
Over. Now made in my be.
Why stress yourself?
No, I'm not born into because I'm paying Akufo-Addo, but I was yet discuss and so accommodate. The pacho was see Oba Fusro. Stop that. Was see Oba Fusro. You are also masquerade tegu from Ghana for us. Also, we were expecting him to tell Ghana for Oba food Diano. The card door was so bad tegu from Ghana for us. No, Konkanche, Wanka. What in the running mate and the vice president now, His Excellency Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia ne Wadani Assemblyman Obo House number digitization. Hey. The exchange rate, the fundamentals in a weaker. The exchange rate will expose you. We were expecting the president to tell us how much was the exchange rate.
Price no so because 7.
And then so it is saying. So as someone Wabeka, or compare records, you would di Mahama 10, we can say our worst is better than your best. That would be the message. Mark it on the wall. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, the vice president, Assembly in Pan Waka Krumaya Fufro. Tell me, these people don't have innovative ideas about how to turn things around. And the Omotima Yapan say they have subjected Ghanaians into an how do you call it? Unmitigated hardship and extreme disaster as
Ableho.
So, Ghanaians were expecting President Akufo-Addo. So once 1 year Kwenya, no bejina ye mrashe bejo fuanim, ye na no si fuanim no. Ye kan person number 1, he will apologize to the people of Ghana. We pacho. Abushafo na minim ko do so tika se wi adwo a, we ka sa adwo na emre. Kotena ho na obehu. Mamuo enye bayre abrewadwo. Ghana fo me pamocho. Isra mo fam fum so ncheme. Me na me kai mantumi aye. Na ko apache wa wie no. Na nka wa share data ye to referendum. To decide whether or not na Biden to assurance ni papa from ra. Ah, yes.
Educated person akasa sana.
Wofa. Me nko school da ho. Me just a primary school dropout.
Makacho say a year fourth democratic dispensation.
Yes.
At a point, a democratically elected president, the wajitum say, "Untimi nyajumanoa, a true referendum over to Atanamon."
Offer Article 1 Clause 1 of the Constitution. Sovereignty emanates from the people, right? Article 35 also says same.
The provisions of the Constitution would suggest to say another would define.
I am not saying no. I am not saying that the power belongs to the people. So nipa the 2 minimum on to me kuta they bad na way.
Oh, give
the people, give the power back to the people.
Or you incapacitated the heading.
We are not talking about incapacitation. We are talking about his inability to perform. His lack of vision, which has pushed all of us to the point of no return. That is the maker. But now, here we are. And he went and sit in Parliament. At the end of the day, what did he say? Absolutely nothing. Because one chair, how to reduce fuel prices, how to reduce the high cost of living, how to reduce high cost of commodity prices in the market inflation, how to arrest the city, and to drop the cost of fuel prices Emma never broke us. He never touched on any of these issues. And I'm so shocked, sir. Mampini Akufo-Addo and Kasankasa, when he was in opposition, corruption was one of his favorite words and terms that he was using frequently. And then I hear that from his political lexicon.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. But many opinion na KOT or person we win wobem. Because an old woman feels uneasy when dry bones are mentioned in proverb. Okay. According to Dr. Late Chino Achibe. And you know they have failed. Now bomb chamswa. Just say I feel terrible as a Ghanaian at this material time living under President Akufo-Addo. What how do you come to coin? How to go Russia? Make your mind all. Russia. Offer me a come.
It's a Russian recruitment.
Me Ukraine. Me a Ukraine kwa come.
Okay.
Okay.
Haruna Kingsley Amaliba of the NDC stock and Oten can forcefully say what me editing some atudwano. Now yentie Nanake of the MPP stock.
Wow. It's here Neat FM. It's here for anyone I was sharing. We are here for Facebook Live. My catcher Ghana for say Munina me come where we are. And we see Mampeni Ado Danko Akufo-Addo a happy birthday. Though belated, but happy birthday still. Watching you now, Mampeni. Ghana for say, Yanni saw a Jumapa, Ghana for the share ones, and they said they water to near man. The year can you say Mampeni? My would up. Five bonus say, when you remember new one in what you say.
Amen.
And near my pa, and near Akufo-Addo, wash us here. Said ye, I born a canon. Say, I would dear chassis, answer na ne baby. And quiet is engrophobia. Masohano, Janina, or when you back okra. But Mampeni Akufo-Addo and sa. A say, Tamale interchange aseno, and Sanawi. Of a minumi in drew. Amaliba crew man. Or the Nigia.
Natamale interchange.
A fire idea.
And yeah, flyover.
And flyover and this the
elevated road. Amani Muso.
We'll say a dear road.
Elevated road.
I hear from the Bureau Ghana.
Bottleneck, you know.
Of I hear from the Bureau. Elevated road. Hear from the Bureau Ghana. Have you?
Oh, I come and come a sec. I Kukumlimlia. Would you be a dom?
The lines, you know. In Kukumlimli, and I walk on.
I wasn't
Kukumlimli, the son of Pesamecano. Ain't he? Won't he?
Interchange.
I work right a specialized interchange. A bindi from her baby. A specialized one.
Here do I see the Akotos actual interchange.
Enti offer the year can say Mampeni Akufo-Addo nsa a schedule masiano. Yampai bonne say Unyamema nsa enwie say adwuma ni nyina. Na menimsa maleba entimi nyako kudru enka address a Mampeni de by because bebre now will go against them. Offer what is Mampeni kasa about yen date of birth registry hun sense what is Mampeni ka ho asem na ananopai. Ana na ni abre say emere bi beba yenya football age wo Ghana ha yenya senate age yenya workplace age and yenya actual age. NDC will never be bold enough to speak about it because they have about 13 age as they live on this earth. 13 different ages. Somebody to we have a new football age, in academia age. How did you say? And they will never have the confidence to talk about the good things of Mampeni and to go against them. Now, at the papa woman say,
now when you digitized age now, I confirm age. What do you know? Then as per Supreme Court ruling, you know, sir, digitized birth certificate, you know, it cannot prove your citizenship.
Well, say on mine where you mra. You were mamra a boy you mra home a boy of mine, the whole buying. And so no be bet me a citizen. No. If I say bet me a foreigner, you won't Ghana. I'll bet me access to birth certificate. What you say? You were Ghana for be the woman mononia and ne or mobile magana. And you are no so back and say, good to do a citizenship, no, didn't you say? And no dear, ain't me the so a friend say, a year bet me a qualify as a Ghanaian. There are so many factors that we need to consider. I mean, himself, we are Ghana near, or don't my conclude Ghana, no. You make sure yourself you've gone through all the stages. I'm Yaji to what to say Ghana. And to me, and it is a woman say, offer, if we are able to capture all these friend say data na mampani e kan wasem ne na ebeyi nkrofobia o se nka o ma retire o mda so tie adwuma mu e ma mabunu ni nya adwuma bi ye no ebi nye no o mo so akofi ma mabunu na nya bi aye dan say mu metesi e keka so obi ni retirement age aso aye 4 na kwa bi so ama wati ni age so by 2 years amoda so te office ya adwuma e wa so okọ na vacant ba na ofa wo fa ase ya wode no ka ase ya mfa na adwuma mu a ba ku ikura ye nya adwuma mani kono ko ya na kono so nya ba bi ase na branti ono so start na brabo said the opening will start with you intermediate megidi ye say a very good step and na omani ya take no na de da bia we kan say ese kwantintin bia kupie wo he aboboa no and na kwala bia nso ni hono ma wanua wo sorry nante nti e better say e best start area na sane ya start kwantintin jeni no ya kwa kupie e wa aboboa no ho ofa de tosu mi no mampani kan ho asema Benny J, I was so proud to be a Ghanaian. And that day, one district, one factory. Mampanika 138 factories are in operational. Now me feel say kayenu ya numi ebe kata omani wuso. No maka say wen kwadi Mampania kufuado oka woye. Wen kwadi. Da bia metre wa feed case yesu na metia me kru Asante Achim South of wa. Ofa metia dwasofo wi na ma kire wo fertilizer factory bia ofa ewo me krum dwaso na a friend say ukọ oil palm oil factory nso a eno nso dwaso kokwa do ho ofa ofiri me constituency Asante Achim South na kwa Asante Achim Central kono ngo unzansa na bedru bomfa junction no ye was cement factory wo nso ne so ope one cement factory no no sansa wachi ebedru 3 lane na no honom na is a spider rider. And also a steel factory another of a company name say Rider Day. My home BBB Rider. Spider Rider. My home be din bisa. And also almost manufacture the nadia. Your man in nadia do any crano sa manufacturing is start no found him.
Rider Steel.
Of an enemy needs some. Almost company enough for nipo over 1,400. We had most factory no all factories are was so who free hand ko who sane 3 lane first one no now be sane the second one the factory one na who was so one who factory ni kese say a very big factory over 1,400 Ghanaians and you may ye and you sit here that day and say we want to share and that dia better share comfort is kuruma so timbi na me ni na wakana wo hia ni beda sidan ofa bisar man ba me say mampani akufo ado e ba ban mu no na maleba wo abrosan nan wo Ghana ha na e na mampani be di president wa tonton na ya Jeffrey dinsem you should be even be proud as a Ghanaian. What do you make
of president to say from my vantage point as president of the republic, from the focus point as head of government, from the enviable position as a husband, as a father and a grandfather, I know that there is a general sense of anxiety in our nation at the moment. The Ghanaian people are anxious about the economy, the cost of living, income levels, jobs for young people, and even about issues on which we all thought we had achieved a national consensus. What do you make of it?
Offer, statement we are making, you know, say what to us what. Na okasa about COVID-19. Na ye nyina enim say somewhere around 2019. Baby na ye chichere mine de kono. Pa na efe keke. Because he started year of return. Nipa dodo epuba Ghana. Eni sika ebebo wura ye economy mu. Na ye nyina ye nim say baby ye kono. Ye dru baby a ye dru bun mu. Until say yare ekodi ewu ebebo wiase nyina enye Ghana nko a. Akofa sa how kesi e dia ba betu ye nyina yeso ofa me de uye obi a wusua de yi kakra bi amakenkan about US economy no enipa dodo a lusu o madwuma ye millions of people and a lusu adwuma US abonten so ofa ko Italy abonten so a nipa dodo a lusu o madwuma ye over million omo so lusu o madwuma through a friend say COVID-19 ye enti ofa ye bisa ho say e ba ne say na Ghana de itimi manage yede no a bedum pempenso ya Ubeje di wo fa nso ye danseni. Say even ewiase nya countries bi wonum pa almost students and mofra tra fie over 20 months. Afei de binuma bie amen kwala ni ko school. Ghana, because of the better management, yet me and NDC for Mampania Kufa do be a school, San Kuala school. No, our auto PPS, Zima teachers, Zima Kualano. They sat on radio stations, TV stations, and insulted the president, say, why you heartless? Or pursue Kum Ghana former. But the ne of a yen yahunu. Some Mampania the Danko Kufuado and Kum Ghana Nibiaba. They mum up a better education, the Ghanaians. Even in difficult times, no. Or providing means to survive. When of family no me no ye ka ho asem ne say. Baby amampani akufo ado ehhye e mine de kono. Ye di kan o mine wani daso. Ye toso mienu. O mine ba bedroom pempenso a ye nya fa pembia gina so. Enti baby ye gina no ye betimi afro na ya toa ya mbrabo so akoye nim. Ofasa odim de enti a wo ba a ye wa o mai. Wabo ho moden ahwe omu school adi bia ko university amebi no omu masters awie ofedi enti na oyes ade no ofi se otimi dia kwala ni ko school no any masters wie a ba bia wadru no se wugyan ni mumpa ofa certificate ade akura kwala no ono ankasa betimi dia toa na brabo so enye sa na tie ofa nya sa na tie ana enti sa na mampani dodanko akufo ado ehhye manyi no dia kwa kodru gina bia afei de wankasa ye je emu a onyira ewo nsuo nani na ebo mu betimi atoto niema se Ghana ni na wabɔ obra edi akwa kodum pempenso a wopese odidru na ma no da 1D1F eso na meka amanfama no ansie ofa ade ba akwa manage e was our one district one factory na a policy amampani akufo ado de ba ya enei egusu a trade ministry honorable Alan Kwadwo Chematen so asoma ono so de ya adwuma gidigidi a enya 138 factories a ya adwuma ubisa na minian mu busa se na factories na wo he energy sam ne se ofasa odim kwanta south oti region NDC fue wo oti region kwanta south mini bia di nkomo no mo sem o mo kan se yeso tan wo kwaduru afa no ayi ne die yi ni mirika omo warehouse kakraka mampani ado danko akufo ado esiesi wo e dey store omo mfunuane machine se guma omo mfunuane no omodo wia ensei ewon kwanta south omahuna kwan ahodo amampani adodanko akufo ado ayi ewon kwanta south ene ye friend say oti region of an alba menso me de me nam so ko bi krom a menso bi duru so ade mani agye from nsawam bypass amampani dadakofo ye 8 years of NDC regime no wo mu jato won amampani adodanko akufo ado bre so wabe peja from nsawam jansen hono ade akwa kwatoa so akwa kodura peja jansen of all the kwanya make ya kwanya offer so almost every week onkwala nso nam so every day atro the media na
mpanifo so nam so
every day na what you twa mu yi wono onkwala no mpanifo nyina afa so ko birthday party a mo kwanya no fa na kwanya ne te sei
would mami just about 5 minutes pe na yanko the presidents of the Ghanaian Parliament na yene the honorable majority leader and minister for presidential for parliamentary affairs planner Osechi Mensabunsu MP4
of waja ni dini ba ko
sompahene
wodi hene uze asante yemfa yenkonwa ni agro ntimi sro bo title no mame
honorable leader yemu ha honorable na wiya humpo etesen yo quick one, how was the feeling like in the chamber Abra Ghana mampanyini oba ya or this state of the nation ebae?
Oh, we did it. We're always starting. And your man, to and Ra, man, I'm a kid. The J. Boji, the negative. Yeah, illegal and impacting. Nothing. Yes, he may be on for you. Good ambition. Yes, it's a good piece. The war. Yeah, may. On say, yeah, you pay free, the very chill, and one. Not in see so at the Chichikakra. The question is, I think for focus, buying car, I really, I need to get that by doing a focus. ADAKABRI, then you can't hold a man. Just cannot. We need speculation, baby. My food, my food is there. They won't drink a cow, dear. This country and work as caviar. Then it started capital flight. Uncle Force, the Omsika, investors, Omsika, the call. The pressure now call dollar needs a year, pound sterling, only euros. Now, I need to be appreciated. Said, I'm cabinet. Then, if you buy, you know, that is it stabilizes. Ultimately, you know, Australia could do $1 now, about 9 cities. Cabinet, then if you buy it, I feel map of it about 3 years more back. That is a buffer. Last weekend, you know, our baby 7.7 yes, 7.8. ADAKABRI, another year, 11 years past a year. Someone say, I feel great, you know, you're not pay about 7.2. A buffer. On say, revenue assurance, our system can be.
As the keyword, revenue assurance.
Actually,
Like I say, I wipe away speculation.
the show said, I can quit you. If it's anymore, yeah, do it. 6. So,
Here, must say it me bansa. After me, uncle 11 no. Leader, what that Roma? Okay.
And then let them what and they can't be say. All these, oh, no, the 18 party, like the blaster. So, yeah, after AFCON, ball on Bobo and Remedy, and the Cassati Bickia Queen. Coaches, I say, coach, they're very experienced, tactical play. Between your boy and your team. I mean, that the main thing is saying, I get a point of Mogobono. 2 legs in you. You win if you don't qualify, in you. Not only they succeed, you say, we win mercy. They move on. You start climb up and notch higher, getting you defeat. A qualifier at the expense of Nigeria. Welcome. Especially second leg, a boy here, their own backyard. Such as a not of it. Someone assigned them Kenya or minor, it's true. With this, Parliamentary. Now, Abano may member, but I need.
And to we belatedly happy birthday, you motomon no. Minority groupings, no, minority caucus, no, to be.
Oh, man, to be no, craft and the thing. Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know, say that. The happy birthday, and right. Yeah, you know. I said the thing. Let me need that. And then connect the bishop.
Okay. Okay.
You to the extent that yeah, it you be at
3 more questions quickly. Nakokoye wajuma oya yebesrewo. First one, we are told this afternoon by Honorable Banda Ahmed Ibrahim. I say a minority leader Haruna Idrisu nebu afu Cyril Insia papa clerk of parliament to the extent to say chairman of the Council of State and a prevail upon Haruna and Sana Bufuno Eba from Dia. The 8 members of the NDC Abba Chamber ho and also so Serensia Ashe Ama Hansata record say that 8 members no were not present and here can no there's no opportunity to correct it. Well, I don't must ask me then any phone.
Oh, first of all, the clerk of Parliament is ultimately responsible, together with the speaker. Oh, they might be back other people. And those and proceedings, ultimately. But I would say, bad, you know, for the impact. The clerks at table. Until then, the clerk to Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament, and the Dean Shafia, who go about what we will say with Bakuna, we are responsible now. Who will say, who both for I don't know for Speaker. I don't know for Speaker. Because I'm meeting no, I know what Dean Shafia, I want to declare that. I don't go about coffee was a we not going to video account. In here, you call, Mimi who goes on. And that let me say, yes, shut up. Anybody be awesome. Anybody be yeah, one of our own. That's a very in now, give me a back. Probably could be so for you. I'm saying,
Hunter West.
It could matter. One campaign and say, okay, so bye.
With doctor's advice and as against doctor's advice.
Where's doctor's advice?
Okay.
And the plan will be not on no popular doctor. Actually, even though we get to nearby, and better tell me all. And so we shouldn't do anything to imperil himself and his life. Any be as in say, yeah, you an amount, not only to an amount, they have not come. I say, doctor, no man behind. How when a butcher or none in the bush. I'm telling you, very no night. Not yet, no, I can't say. Oh, okay, yeah, or by. And I'm making, in the fair, other people, and who say, both of the people, now, uncle for no son. Not a billion, no one nobody. Almost say, no, uncle for no, a buy. It's a mere who okay, come on, they can't want to. Minority that is not a correction. The correction being of votes and proceedings. The year has done a president. So, now we know. You're calling a memory. So, say, not speaker, the president pandemic. Now, that area by Mungu, then Konosha and Kay, granted United in the class. And at 10 o'clock, the president, no. The didn't shall see a night. Yes, shall see, no. If I say, bay 5 to 10. Until your bomb pie, trust here. Quenching or cat. When you're the president, many minority that young kind of may go share president. Yeah, Coca. It may be crucial. I don't know. They could do no complaining. Say, obey question of rules and procedures. Yes, I go for no. More points are not a party member of more in Chow. The also a good correction. I'm so to say, actually, you could be. Then, you come back. Yetchina. So, be can who are raising. And also, going to obey a correction. Yeah. The president, a bad them or dear. Yes, I'm ready on the time for who is correction. That is not the procedure. No, no, so one thing. Yeah, no, when you speak a Ukrainian, when a speaker catch and say, he, the speaker, is role of the house, and you know minority. When he insists a certain channel bears their own TUPM, the speaker catch and say, I am in control of the house, and you know minority leader.
Achete mukoshia present yidina abache mbede mu na mu kun.
I know don't come by you be customer and strong. Yes, me. Me make cut between the minority and the speaker. What's more? More could now by me. So make an of temper. The moment me see na me joke na boso. The only all when you be na ye ba. On the crime for us all. Me appeal to minority leaders. Now no dey na onti na all kakako.
Eti mo kwana nya mo me enso. Omo me no disagreement no ni say na obi a yekoshia president na mo kun. It doesn't mean say wo ka ho.
I want to believe you.
Yo.
Let me give you. Obi a oti yen. So they can be able to copy the idea. Because I live in a code. But if I don't know more, if I know fire, you know, now Council of State chair and now anything. Now could former first lady Russia. And now chairman of a council. Then the wood general secretary of MP. And now Yato. Then general secretary of NDC. Now also so I like no. The aircon drew Yato. A minority that could fit on company that on the no, you step out of at the end of the day, has never happened there. When we have brought in the president, Obedi Haka, correction of wisdom, not done that way.
Did you talk to one?
President and buy energy and the boato. That is how it ended.
Right. And no,
I so buy and speak to be the key statement to say. And sana, president, I say, if you have done this, yeah. Correction of wisdom. It
almost someone say until say chairman of the Council of State any Ura Kufiato Omona a persuade a minority leader no and my concession ya watch them you know a bear mountain a pedi ye no 2 year now
told the speaker to make a pronouncement on that.
They just be soon trap.
And I think yes, that's what I know. And I'm not been in the walk. I made that walk and roll inside. So they didn't privy to as I see it. It's already made deals, already I made them.
Aye, that Roma. Leader, I trust you also no. I made that Saka say minority leader. None the boy say fu a speaker on the basis that work out no in reliance of 104 now it was incumbent upon the speaker to ensure that 138 and what them more abra na 137 so na what them more speaker anye say adwuma no. What do you make of it?
Asema Workcamps. Around the coach. The one. My sister would have said, I could be a court. What I could be a court today, I think I continue to be a court.
But who no experience in Parliament, you would say 104 no, is it self-invoking? And answer I was say will be a requesting a member be requesting of the speaker and send a 104 na bem.
Let me catch what I say. We saw the attempt of court. They need corporate number to take a decision. That's what they call court. the burden of proof is of him to prove that anymore. What? It is also meaning about the main ADAKABRI me crowd me no can say no. Uncle can have more court. Yeah, you will have court.
Why? Into the crack no. Said the Udi can yes, revenue assurance be abemu ama we can say speculation so kakra every muama yahuno significant movement downward of your friend is saying dollar CD fluctuations, you know. Again, and I be catch or my ma ama yenya unity of purpose be at the ye dear more my money na.
Me catch your mama. Investing how is to Russia want to come with a pro rate. The president and the iron rose ball a peja. And the cement ball peja. It's like a ball air cost. And the touch the ball cost. One phone in for gun. And the crack. ADAKABRI only say petra enya itu no so anenia use no man no nei o man no inu ni use o man the bia na itu say baby gina be 160,000 barrels a day and no itu no so kwanye kana yen going there. Yet to me, Jim is done a 110. So, 110. Then Ponke Depia, the super, and so was on daily basis Ghana. Somewhat, that's honest, to find a good you know, here in the region of 120,000 barrels a day. You used to know. The public them go a young go yena the two or you know had it in a was in yano and just a two maybe so the to bono costra and bad then yes say on a to bono costra a bring the shentia dia costra
Edamini who can say Nana Bresiama, National Chairman of GPRTU, is on my neck. As I say, what took a freak and crying, Kumasi bank crying, as at Enra. Was it war per transport minister by Biakramia Kansama, Yantia city pressure say, and on their own volition, young total first move by 15 percentage points. Here we are going to make sense and Adarumade bra, Nian Train fear dano, young concourse say 15%.
Because petrol board export prices cost. So the baby a ton on the focus. Focus to send a making any maybe. A gamma and super petrol bono cost. So I'm not I know going at the same time. No, it's only I'm going to see the society near side depreciate at an alarming rate. And I'm speculation as a baby. The money you couple more. When it was to come in many honey. What I say. Come on, Omudika. The CAE, you know, because the same rate of inflation in the state.
Yeah, you can see weekend in the a new window never bano. Window no sans a revenue assurance no a back kick into the new window no.
Yeah, the say a buffer. Because the me and chose in CPR. That's 7 years that bedroom.
At least my friend the entire motor friend na monka be jende komrante no driver for no egu no so papa yo now menu awie enti me yo baba na mu kwe da say just okope ba bi da kaka no abre twese ne pictures ya sane dia abre me honorable finance minister afedie no hwa ankro mo wada say hati e wo so nan mu dabi leader mungo pe baby nkwaji ma home na mo abre papa na utu say abini
wa edu baby kwa na wo kabi
ai
ya je me butu kwa nsa na ade no say
ai
omomoden
ami
na ma ha me tie ni bi o
ai na de wo mu ane say
me tie na say ADAKABRI na ka me zuta be yonguru do
media community akra na nka no but
Nanka won't be antia can be here.
a hang parliament but they are not also changing tactic. We are planner. It as a planner no.
There's no hang parliament. That's the mistake that some of you know. There's no hang parliament in you. There is indeed a near hang parliament.
A near hang parliament.
Yes, and hang parliament. ADAKABRI, what you go for? Hang parliament at anything.
A near hang parliament. And that calls for that calls for a new tactic. And in Tinam free say whimsical and capricious the name on persuasion again acquire persuasion and Obaka say liberal talks. At the end of it we have achieved something. Yes, let's wait and see what pans out at the law courts if indeed they will go to the court. That was a leader. Final comment. Near hang parliament or such a man was snatching me can ufuratana wakwada kuhyan kromo or parliamentary na a dear kofa win at the aba Amaliba final comment.
Listening to Honorable Chairman Sabunsu, this is a clear indication say this government cannot make progress because of arrogance and disrespect on the other side. Near hang parliament. Honorable Sema must resign or must be killed from parliament by the speaker. One party or representative will take it. In 2016 to 2020. Then Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Aaron Michael Kwe, Abra Omoko Prime Minister, Odin Chua Kazoko independent. Then Chiraka command so yin free MPP form. Didn't he do that? And it's Honorable Chairman Sabosu Ekase, near hang parliamenter, who has added to their number to make a near hang parliament. MPP for members of parliament, near 137. NDC is near 137, plus independent candidate. Obeka Omhuana. So Obeka
joining the majority caucus.
Then he should be forced to resign from parliament.
Onkase was joining a party no.
You see,
when
and then if that is the case, then it will be a willful deception. And indeed, a willful deception and a blatant attempt to mislead the people by Honorable Chairman Sabunsu to claim that there's a near hang parliament. Near what hang parliament?
Okay, near hang parliament.
Any people more saying? How many honorable members went to parliament? Over.
Hang parliament.
What we know, a hang parliament that we have, okay, right. No near hang parliament. What are the
implications of a hang parliament?
Yes, the implications in there we can talk about a lot. But what happened yesterday? I want to commend Honorable Haruna Idrisu. In fact, Honorable Mapeja Muamao, I never knew that you were such a strategist and a born leader. Okay. What they did was the right thing. And we are watching keenly with interest and curiosity to see 33 weeks ago.
Curiosity killed the cat.
The Supreme Court in the ruling in the case of Honorable how do you call it, Professor Abdullahi Best, the Attorney General, the quorum to comment to take a decision in the floor. 138, and I don't know.
To say me and you
fine. We are waiting to see.
It should be in the both.
We are waiting to see.
Right now, final comment.
It's either a popo bibli na TSC and DC.
Oh, dear best.
And that's the frustration in the because easy
my goodness.
Korom no kan was no moti asede. Of a corner kofa nra. Parliamentary register no. The when you do a register I say o maba parliament nra na we. Ube won say korom no kan no monti ase. Say ma stage walkout. Of us, they do walk out. Does it cancel your appearance at the Parliament House? A cancel. So who stage walk out? A cancel your appearance at the Parliament. So
at the time, yeah, baby, decision.
Exactly. And the good thing is that
decision 138.
Of the good thing is that as at the time, a speaker, Ebisa, the minority caucus, there were still minority people in the house.
Okay.
Do you listen to yourself?
That's what they
you listen to yourself.
One kasa, I would say, Concron, I a friend, Collins, Niama, wɔyɛ director of finance and administration ɛwɔ MPP headquarters a friend Owura Collins Niama ɛnɛ ɔse wapagya ne ntoma mu ɔkɔ akɔpere national treasurer na yɛnom bi adwuma pa a ɔbɔɔyɛ no yɛgyidi yie sɛ yɛma no opportunity na Owura Collins Niama bɛtumi asom ɛne ne links a wɔn bɛtumi akɔ akɔ raise revenue ɛde aboa MPP amanyɔkuo no nti mesrɛ sɛ ɛmɛrɛ ne so a yɛn support yɛn nua no na yɛn fa ma no na ɔnyɛ dwuma no ɛmfa ɛnom yɛn
nyame nhyira no
ɔfana
ke ase of the MPP stock yɛn fa se da so ɛma ɛyɛ Haruna Kingsley Amaliba of the NDC stock nana nyame nhyira mo nyina wate
nhyira wo nso
yɛn ahoboa na yɛkɔ yi Olakoku Michael ana wɔde yɛbɛkɔ fie no wɔde yɛbɛkɔ so jojojojo ɔne bi yɛ ne akyire